So Frank and Paul, I think you both had touched on just the importance of working with community-based organizations to get the word out, to get kind of the trust in the community. You know, I'll tell you, give you an example. I delivered a low-income program in New Orleans. We actually got lucky in that one of our trade allies, his father was a pastor. So they were able to reach out through the faith community. And there was one person in particular, I still remember her name. She was a firecracker. You know, I'm pretty tall. She was about yay high to me, but her personality was about up here. Right. So Pat Andrews, but she was that one person that had all the connections and all the linkages and all the trust in the community. And that's where that program became such a big success. We were really able to get that out through her. Any similar stories or any thoughts that you've seen kind of how that's worked out in the past?
Paul, yeah, I mean, I would just say that that's actually how it works. And I think for us as an industry, it requires, and I'm sure Frank would probably have to say this a lot with his team, right? It requires a level of patience because what tends to happen as organizations is we know we're trying to do something great. And we want people to just on its face accept that we're doing something great. It's going to be great for you. We're great people, you know, and all of that positive stuff. But I think we need to always remember the context in which we're going into communities, which is that these are communities that have been ignored for generations and multiple of generations. Or they've had experiences where people have made promises and did not fulfill them and just left. And because of that, that means it requires more effort for us. I think the good news, though, is that once you get a Miss Pat, right, the exponential success is like amazing. And it creates an opportunity for us as an industry to tell our story in a much more meaningful way so that we get to a place where communities are seeking us out as opposed to us as an industry running after them.
That's 100% on target. So just to share another story, when we started this program in Memphis, we had first thing we did was we had a weatherization education workshop at a church there, and it was very well attended. And there were members from the city there, from the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, and we were there holding these workshops. And I met a lady there who had qualified for the federal weatherization assistance program, but because you know she was 72 years old, a widow, was always getting bumped down because of the priority points. She'd been on the roll for a couple of years, and just there were families with more need that came in, obviously, and so she was never going to get served. And so I said, look, we're about to start this program. If you will give me your name and your phone number, I'll get somebody in touch with you, and we'll make sure that we do this work on your home. And sure enough, we did, and that was the first house that we did in Memphis with the program. This lady, who is a wonderful friend of mine now for over the years, is Esther Patrick. All of a sudden, we found out she was completely connected across the community, has been an enormous promoter of the program, and has opened so many doors for us to do more than we ever thought we could do. And in fact, just last week, we celebrated our 500th home in Memphis. So we had the 500th home family there, and another lady, 82 years old, very active in the community. So she was there, and so was Miss Patrick. So we had the first and the 500. But you know, you gotta be that is, you know, that's the story everywhere. It's the same story in Nashville. It's the same story in Chattanooga. Wherever you are, it's when you meet those community champions, you know, then everything starts to take off. Just everything.